So today we're doing something a little bit different again. We're doing the point of view because this is the easiest way to record for me. So I've picked up this new tyre from EnduroGear.com. Make sure you head over to there and buy all your stuff off them to make sure you're supporting the sport. This is a brand new tyre that they got in. Don't know how to read that. Capra Extreme. These are made in Turkey for the Sea to Sky races, so these have been tested over there. We're going to try out this new tyre today, put my Duramoose in there, a 140 Duramoose in there, and just do step by step of how I put on a new tyre. So let's go. First off, 27mm on the rear. It's actually a good idea too to push this across so it's actually easier to get the disc in later on. Normally just give it a hit across, get that started, pull this out, and then I'll push the wheel forward. Once I get that out enough, push it forward, and then this chain will just roll off like that, and then slide it straight out. A lot of people just stick it in the exhaust here too. I do the same thing, nice and easy. Ballard's tyre changer here. I'll normally just stick this, whatever side I'm feeling on the day. 12mm for one lock nut and a 10mm for the other one. So take those off. Once that's done, I normally just go around the edges, sort of give it a push down, make sure the bead's broken. Normally is broken because I got a pretty soft mousse in there, and I will use 4 levers to get this off. So I'll just go at my big rim lock first, stick one either side to start off with, and then I'll go further around to out there. This one could probably come across a little bit more there. And then this one to out there. I will start with just the center two, and then this one, and then this one. And normally I can take all of them out and just go around with the singular one. It might be different if you're running a bigger mousse for your tyre. You might need a couple more levers, but this is a very extreme soft setup that I got going on here, so it's pretty cruisy for me. Then I'll get the tyre, flip it over, and I got 2 rim locks on, so normally just push it down like this. With my smaller rim lock on this side, I'll just put 2 levers either side, then I'll put that one there, and then that, we'll just bring it over the top of that rim lock there, and then that'll start us off like this. I'll just go around and I'll put levers down in like that. Normally get about 3 levers in there, start it off, bring it down. Normally I can go around and sort of push it off like this. Like I said, this might not be as easy for you guys if you're running a harder setup. You might have to look up a video how to get a bit harder mousses off. But yeah, normally this just pushes down like that. And then lift it off and pull it out. So we've got the rim here. Normally just get a filthy rag and just give it a good wipe down. I haven't got any rim tape on, which is probably not the best. You should always have some sort of rim tape, but I'm a little tight ass and don't really do it, and because I'm changing tyres all the time, I sort of just give her a clean down and go again. The next step is to prep this tyre up. So with mousses, you've got to put a silicone grease inside them, so that means the Duromousse inside of it can move around freely and it doesn't break apart, and yeah, stops the wear on it. So Duromousse recommend every 30 hours you re-lube them. That's pretty much a new tyre for me. This is what a tyre looks like for me in 30 hours. So I'm pretty much changing, like just lubricating a new tyre every single time. I just buy one of these. They're 60 bucks off Duromousse website. If you want to buy one of these, I think I've done probably 5 or 6 tyres with the amount that I've got here, like taken away now. So I suppose it'll probably do you about 15 tyres or something like that. Not bad for 60 bucks. What a lot of people might do is they might actually lubricate the whole mousse around the outside, like try and lube it all up. I don't think that's a good idea, because what happens is if this gets onto your bead, then you can risk, you know, it popping off the bead, or it gathers heaps of dirt and stuff. So what I do is pretty much just get it and I'll just rub it in the inside of the tyre, and that's all you need, because this is the only surface that it's rubbing up against. On your rim, it can sort of just move freely because it is just aluminium and you've got rim tape and that, so it will move freely around. I will just scoop this out and just rub it in the tyre. Don't have to go too crazy, but if you want to go crazy, go crazy. It's up to you really. Just, I normally just get it so all the surface of the tyre is covered and you can sort of see a shine on it. Get the tyre looking like that, just make sure all surface has got like something wiped on it, and I'm usually pretty happy with that. Like I said, I'm normally changing these tyres at 30 hours, or I'm actually rotating these tyres so I can keep an eye on whether my mousse needs lubricating or not. Next step is just getting your mousse out of the old tyre. I normally just sit on it like this, and then you can pull it out. And before you guys go crazy and think, wow, these mousses are terrible, they're ripping apart, nah, this is just what I do to them, because I run a super soft setup, and this mousse has probably been in like 5 tyres this year already, so it's gone through a bit. It's done a couple of races. I drill them out with this drill bit here. That will just give you all the holes. I've drilled this out like crazy, so it's extremely soft. What I'll normally do too is I'll just lift it up, just give it a bit of wipe down, try and get any dirt or anything that's found its way into the rim, swipe it down, and then I'm pretty happy with that. To install a mousse, normally have a second glove on, but I don't. I'll just push it in like that. Apparently these knobbies are meant to be a little bit harder than the double green, but that's what I'm about to find out. Next step I do is grab the rim, place it down, and with this tyre, normally just give it a wipe down, because you don't want anything on the bead, because that could disrupt it sitting on the rim properly. So normally just give the bead a good wipe down. Tyre is directional, so it's got rotation here. I normally just get the sprocket side so that I understand it's rotating that way. And I will start off with my big rim lock. What I'll do is I'll get that side underneath like that. So now that bead on that underside is sitting where I need it to be. And then I'll sort of just push down like this. And this is where a good set of levers. I really like these spoon design like this, because you can sit them under like that. Sit this one under like this. And then sort of just work your way around. You can already tell that it is a little bit stiffer, this tyre. But yeah, sometimes I can just work one side on with just one lever. And that's it, just really just one lever. got that on. And then next thing you got to do is just flip it over and find your rim lock on this side. The only reason why I run a double rim lock is because I'm running such a soft setup. A little bit tricky sometimes, especially because this is a harder tyre. Just got to try and get this over the top like that. Pretty much bring it down. Then do the same thing again. Just pull it up like that. Should be able to push it in. Bang, there you go, Bob's your uncle. Now I've got the tyre flipped over, and what I'll do is I'll just set the mousse down into the rim like that, and I'll normally just start on my bigger rim lock. So you'll use the spoon section like this and just go around. Rim lock's a little bit tricky because on your way around you've got to sort of free up one of your hands to try and push it in. I normally work my way around to the other rim lock this way, and I'll try and get that done halfway. You never want to finish off on a rim lock because it's very, very annoying to get that last section of the tyre on. So I'll try and get this one done halfway. Now the trickiest part of the tyre is the end. What you want to do is you want to make sure this bead's pushed down. You can use things like this, a bead buddy. Get it in there, sit it there. Got this off Ballard's. You just sit it there and that'll hold the bead down. So that's essentially just pushing the wheel further down like that, so then this side's easier to get on. Now sometimes the next step is hitting it with compressed air so it beads on. Obviously you can see that section there hasn't really bead on, so I have just an air line there that I'll hit it with compressed air and it'll bead on for me. Pretty much next step is getting this tyre in. Like I said before, opening that gap up and sliding this rotor in a bit easier like that. Then when I put the chain on, if I can get that angle, I'll put it on from the bottom and just spin it forward like that. Chain's on, wheels sort of sitting there by itself. With your axle, I sort of coat it with just a long life grease. I've got the Motor X long life grease, so if you want to do that, slides in nicely. Slide that in all the way. And then put this on. Nice grinding sound. And a little trick to just get your chain tight is if you grab it like this while tightening it up, it'll do it. You can stick something in there if you want. It could damage your chain, could damage the sprocket, but I mean, doing this nice and easy, no risk of damaging anything. And then I'll just tighten this up, and these are supposed to be torqued up, but I normally just go 3 or 4 vein, you know what I mean. Give her a good spin and give her a good push. Oh yeah. And then don't forget, if you do need to inflate it, which this doesn't look, it's actually looked like it's sat on by itself, which I'm pretty happy about. Don't forget to do both your rim locks up, and that's it. Have fun, ride hard. So don't forget that if you want Duro mousses cheap, you can use code Lincoln10. You can get 10% off the mousses. At the moment, we're having a little bit of struggle getting them out to a couple of places just because of freight cost. It's easier for us to send it to bigger towns, and we can transport them for only $20 per moose. So you can contact me and get them delivered to Nowra, and I can drop them off somewhere or something like that. But if you are thinking about buying a Enduro moose, just give me a message and we can arrange something to try and get you the cheapest postage possible and make sure you're a happy customer. So thanks heaps for watching this, and I'll see you on the next one.